This video is about me repairing a broken arm on a Bale unroller, and this project will have me scratching my head on how to fit it in the garage. It'll have me doing the splits, and just hanging around. I'm also going to be moving heavy things.
Oh, that's heavy.
And pointing at stuff. And things will just simply fall apart. Maybe even swing out of control. And of course, you're going to see me do some welding. So if any of this stuff interests you, hang around for the rest of this video.
I got a Bale unroller. The arm is all wonky on this side and we got to completely rebuild it.
The customer had me come out and get it instead of bringing it to me, so that was a nice little drive out in the country in my truck.
First thing I gotta do is figure out how to get this thing into the garage. I don't know if you can tell or not, but my garage door is shorter than that thing sitting up on my truck right now. So my current thinking is I'm gonna use my knuckle boom crane and swing this thing over onto my little utility trailer behind our SUV and back that in here. Hopefully that'll work. Well, there it is, sitting in the garage. I'll show you what's wrong with it here in a second. So I have worked on this Bale roller for years and years and years at this point. I put these yellow legs on it for the customer years ago. I don't even know when. I'd actually need to go and look through my pictures because I'm pretty sure I have pictures of doing that, and I'll put the date right here of when I did that feat. But now he has twisted this pipe. I think you can see right here, really good crack in the pipe. So this entire pipe is now twisted and squished and not right. So what we got to do is just cut out this inner pipe, this pipe down here. We're gonna have to cut that out, cut this arm off, and we'll build new linkage. And can you see how twisted that is right there? The pivot for this Bale arm is 2 7/8 structural tubing that is slid over 2 3/8 structural tubing. I happen to have a fair amount of that around because this stuff is used in the oil patch and I can get my hands on it pretty cheap since there's a lot of oil patch stuff around here. I cut the 2 3/8 diameter tubing first. That way I can make sure it fits between these two pieces of square tubing in this frame. Nice. That's perfect. And I used the VEVOR portable bandsaw for this, and I gotta say this bandsaw is still holding up really nice. Really enjoying this thing. Let's see if it fits over this piece. Hope so. Oh yeah, that's easy. Spins easy. I'm gonna need a top and bottom ring here. I need to cut a couple of those, but I'll skip that on camera. Mounting a hand grinder to this cabinet has been one of the best things I've ever done. It really saves a lot of strain on my hands. And yes, instead of calling them angle grinders, I call them hand grinders because, well, that's what they do. I'm also removing the spring and chains. I really don't know what they do on this Bale mover. I've never seen a Bale mover with this spring and chain setup at all. And also, this chain is completely wore out. It's about ready to go kersproing all on its own anyway, so just getting rid of it. But oh my word, okay, that is stuck. I'm also going to quickly remove this Bale spike just to get it out of my way. And also just have a little bit less weight on this arm. I'm also going to attach my VEVOR chain hoist to the Bale arm here, so when I cut it apart from the frame, it won't just fall to the ground. It's one of those ones that can be plugged in. Jeez. Once that arm is cut off, then it's a quick cleanup with a 9-inch hand grinder. And then I remove the arm from the twisted pipes. So it goes on like this. That sits. There's a little gap up here on this top. Oh, nope, that just popped into place. Never mind. That's great. So the next thing I'm going to do, drill and tap 2 grease zerks into this thing, so that way it can be greased. Normally I would put this up in the milling machine and actually find center and drill the holes and tap them. But I got a project in the milling machine right now I don't want to pull out, so I'm just going to do it like I do it in the field. Grab my drill and tap and do it by hand here. There we go. 2 grease zerks and a piece of pipe. Just that easy. Once I had all the pieces cut out and put together, then it was time to just set this up into the frame and start welding it in. Ow! Finger. Look things over, see if it's about where I want it. See, I'm just going to eyeball it to the other side. That is exactly on. They just jammed that up there, this collar, spacer, because on the other side it measures from the bottom of the square tubing to the end of the collar 2 1/4, and this is 2 1/4, exactly. So yeah,
And here's a quick tip for you. If you can't get your MIG welder to make contact through a small amount of rust or mill scale, pull the trigger on a section that does have good contact for a second or 2, then quickly go back to the section that's not making contact, and that red hot blob will burn through the little bit of rust or the mill scale, and you'll have contact. And you'll be able to start welding.
okay, next I have to figure out where this arm is going to go. So, let's see here, check my note. Cords everywhere. Now I'm going to cock these grease zerks just a little bit out to the side here. Because if there's a tractor tire right here, it's going to be just a little bit easier to grease them. You can get to them out here. And should fit back up in here. It almost stays by itself. Things have cooled off a little bit here, so I want to see if it'll move now. I hope it moves. Oh, yeah! Definitely sounds like it needs some grease. There we go. That works. All right.
And the last thing I had to do was make the little arm that the hydraulic cylinder pushes and pulls on to open and close the Bale arms. This is simply made from a piece of 3-inch square tubing, which I don't have any short pieces of, and I had to cut 11 inches off of a 24-foot piece I just got in.
Oh, that's heavy.
So I threw a couple pieces of scrap pipes under it so I could roll it into the shop and get it up into the VEVOR bandsaw. Then I hand cut a couple notches in it, figured out where the bolt hole needed to go,
And I want to put the hole right about there.
Then I decided it was worth the extra time to take the project I had in the milling machine out and use the milling machine to drill the 2 holes in this square tubing. There's no way I could do these by hand, and it would probably be pretty fiddly with the mag drill.
And it was just a matter of bolting it back in place and welding it on. Okay, see if it swings. It's squeaky. Okay, well, now I'm gonna go grease it. I don't know how much grease to put in there for the customer. This customer's really good at greasing stuff, so I'm not too worried about that part. Make sure it just swings good. Since it's not hooked, oh, there's definitely a lot of grease in there. Bolt back in. Yeah. There you go. All right. I think it's 100% done. Can't think of anything else left to do. So the only thing left to do is actually take it back out to the customer. Oh look, Kansas has a tree.